Hello again, Indah Melindasari from ONEderland Consulting. I have over 10 years experience as a migration agent and was once a migrant myself. Please click subscribe to get all the best Australian immigration content and updates. I'm aware of how difficult this time has been for many of you, waiting on a visa separated from the ones you love. There has been a lot of desperation and uncertainty, which we hear from our clients every day. But just know that we at ONEderland Consulting do our best to give you the best advice we can and find whatever solutions we can for you, and we are always here for you. Now, let's get started with the latest immigration news for July 2021. Part 1. Update on borders and travel restrictions. South Australia is preparing for international students' return, travel bubble with Singapore in sight, changes on outbound travel exemptions. Part 2. Latest visa news and updates, new agriculture visa for Asian countries, visas for global talent and innovation to be cut, places added for employee-sponsored visa. Part 3. Regulation changes, visa application fees to increase and AAT Tribunal fees to increase. Alright, let's start with Part 1. Update on borders and travel restrictions. International students have gone through so much waiting on news as to when they can come back to Australia with no real answers given to them from the government, even though they contributed greatly to this country's economy. However, for those of you at the Southern Australian institution, there might be some hope. The Chief Public Health Officer of South Australia has approved the plan to bring back international students. In addition, the plan has also met all the protocols and requirements of the federal government. According to the plan, 160 international students at a time will be brought back to South Australia. The international students should spend 2 weeks in quarantine at Parafield Airport, where a quarantine facility has been set up. This looks to be the way that international students will start to return, with similar programs being worked out for New South Wales and Victoria. With thousands of students stranded overseas and the small numbers of students that will be able to return at one time, this is still not guaranteed that they will be back before the borders open. Some more possible positive news for students, however, is that after meeting recently between Prime Ministers of Australia and Singapore, Prime Minister Scott Morrison said that Singapore will definitely be the next country Australia will open travel with after New Zealand. This could mean that Singapore may act as a quarantine stopover for international students returning to Australia. From incoming travel news to outward travel news, there has been a new update released on outbound travel exemptions. Previously, there was no validity period placed on outbound travel exemptions or limit on the amount of trips that could be made as long as it was valid. However, with new update, outbound travel exemption will now have a 3-month validity period and only be able to be used for one outbound movement. Alright, so let's move to Part 2, latest visa news and updates. Some big news coming out regarding visas is the creation of the agriculture visa, which will be available to applicants from the Asian countries. This is in response to what has already been a critical shortage in the agriculture industry that was only made worse by the announcement that working holiday visa holders from the UK would no longer be required to complete a certain number of hours of farm work. The new visa, expected to be available in the next 3 months, will allow holders to come for 3 years, work for up to 9 months in a 1-year period, and then return to their home country for 3 months under the farm visa conditions. In other visa news, allocation of places for both the Business Innovation and Investment Program along with the Global Talent Program will be cut. This will be able to allow more places for the employee-sponsored visas. There was an increase in the number of business innovation visas from 6,862 in 2019 to 13,500 in the current fiscal year. The Australian government will reduce this to 11,000 in 2021-22 to correspond with a change in the eligibility for the plan. Additionally, the Global Talent Visa, which was allocated for 15,000 people this year, the government plans to reduce this number to 11,000 by 2021-22. While these business and innovation focus streams are being cut, the number of employer-sponsored visas will be boosted from 20,000 to 23,500. Furthermore, the regional visa will be increased by 70% to 13,150 places, while the skilled independent visa will be increased by 1,000. Part 3. Regulation changes. Finally, there have been changes regarding the fees of all applications. As of July 1st, 2021, there will be an increase of the visa application fees, including fees for AAT applications. We won't go through every single price change here, but only some of the most common and popular visas. So, if you are budgeting and looking at prices before July 1st but have not lodged yet, then that price will have changed. The Skilled Independent Subclass 189 visa fee has gone from $4,045 to $4,115. Partner visa subclass 801 and 100 have increased from $7,715 to $7,850. The student visa subclass 500 has increased from $620 to $630. Meanwhile, application fees for the review on appeal to the Tribunal of most migration decisions will increase to $3,000. To get further information on all the increased application fees, please check the description for this video. Well, that's the roundup of all the changes and updates for July 2021. If you have any questions about how these changes may affect you or benefit you, please don't hesitate to reach out, leave a comment or questions, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. You can find our contact details in the description and in the comments, so feel free to send an email or call with an inquiry, and our advisors will be there for all your visa needs. ONEderland Consulting is here to help you. As always, thank you for watching.